I welcome you to our Lust of Linux series, everything you need to know about Linux to get started. And today we are going to start file management. If you are interested, what we have done in day one, so you could watch this video where I have explained everything. And if you could not wait for this series, then to go ahead with other videos as well. So let's talk about today's agenda, what we will learn today. Today's main agenda is file management. And in this, we start with essential about the file. So there are some commands which are very helpful when you are working with the files. You must know those commands, and then we will see how we can edit the file. And of course, throughout this, we would be having a quizzes, and we will wrap up the session with the summary, what we have learned today. Additionally, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in comments. So let's begin with, but before that, I would like to mention this is our LinkedIn group. I'll post the link in the description. Additionally, these are our social media handles. Would love to stay in touch with you. If you are interested to do more quizzes, so we are posting everyday quizzes on our Instagram. So feel free to participate there as well. Enough on this, let's begin. So very first command is a cat command. We will first understand the command structure. After that, we will also do the hands-on or practical. So very first thing is a cat command. So cat. It's very simple, 3 letters. Here there are two terms. One is the concatenate and one is to display content of the files, where it shows the content of the files on the terminal. For example, if you have any file and if you want to see it, so you could just put like this. Here is the syntax, cat, then options. Then you have to provide a file name. There is another option which says concatenate. So concatenate means when you are taking an output of multiple files, it combine all the outputs of the file in one, and you could see everything on the terminal itself. Okay, so there are two purposes here I mentioned. One more thing where you could use cat command to create a file as well when you do not have any editor. Okay, especially if you are working on container, in that case you do not have any, and if you don't want to increase the size of your Docker container image, then in that case you could also use cat command to create a file and put some content in that. We will see that shortly, but before that I would like to show some of the options. Especially these options are very helpful when you are working with the files and processing the files and filtering the data, or maybe you're doing code analysis, or maybe you're doing log analysis. This really helpful, especially when you work with the files where you have the different kind of data. So let's see very first option. That's what I said. When you have to read the file, you simply get out file like this, cat, and the name of the file. My file is at this location, okay, which is created by the script. And here if you see line number 1 and up to line number 20. Okay, so when I execute this command, I get the output like this. But when I use the -n option along with the cat command, then it gives the number to each and every line which is displayed. So if you see over here, why there are some space in between, right? So basically these are not space, these are two empty lines where there is no content. Okay, similarly, we also have something like over here, but this here it's obvious, right? Line 2 and line 3, there is some difference, but you cannot see what happened over here. But when you use -n, then you get to know of the multiple lines I have in my document, right? So this is really helpful. But if you are processing a file for any data related purpose, or I don't know the use case, okay, you know the option, and when you work on this, you will get to know this as well. And next, if I use -b option, then -b option give me number only non-blank lines. For example, like I said, when application creates lots of logs and you're doing log analysis, I use this personally when I'm working with the log files. I know, okay, this many number of lines, I have the important rest, I don't. So -b option is very handy in that case. It gives the exact number of lines. And actually these options also very helpful when you are working with the bash scripting or shell scripting. Okay, and by the way, one of the viewer has asked, are we going to cover shell scripting in this? So I would say we are preparing a foundation for that. If you are interested to learn shell scripting, I have very extensive experience with the shell scripting and the Python. And if you want to learn that, please let me know so we can plan ahead and also notify you for that. If you want to learn bash scripting, please feel free to drop your suggestion in the comments. Okay, so let's come back to the point. So I was talking about non-blank number of the line. So I know I have only 10 useful line in entire file, right? So what I could do, I have another option -s, which is squish or combine, okay, multiple lines, empty lines into one. So when I use cat -s, So it just combine or merge line number 3 and 4 like this and like this. So now we can combine, okay, both the options like this. So now what happened, it has given a number, okay, because of dash n I have a number line number 3, and here I have a line number 12. So this combines the line, two lines into one, and this one as well. This is very, very helpful. Maybe you're wondering what these options are or where you will use. But when you work with the file, okay, and the files created by application where you have a lot of data, okay, we will see one more option again. So this is one of the option. Next option is dash A. Okay, so basically you don't use one option. Okay, you use multiple options like this. For example, dash S, dash N, and dash A. Okay, this is also helpful when you are doing, like I say, code analysis, log analysis, or filtering the data. In that, this is very helpful. What you could do, you could use a dash A option, which shows all the characters, including non-printable character, okay, and at end of the line character as well. So you may find, okay, what are the other contents are there which are not helpful to you, okay. So you can quickly or easily clean them. Time to go ahead and see this in action, hands on. But before that, guys, do you have any question about the cat command, what cat command does? So for whatever I have explained, feel free to drop your question. All right, so let's go ahead and see the cat command in action. Let's create a file with 20 entries that we could use, and I will explain you what it is gonna do. And let's say output.txt file. Okay, for I in 1 to 20, do echo line da, 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 da. Okay, all right. So let me check. So we know this option. Okay, so recently this file is created. Let me check out. All right, so we have this option. This script is working. So here what I have done. All right, let me show you again. Okay, so this is basically a simple one-liner shell script, okay, which perform, of course, loop 1 to 20, and we are doing echo and echo line, okay, and $I. So whatever value of I, it is going to be put inside output file, and that's what we, sorry, not this one, output.txt. Okay, so we have 20 lines in this. You could simply get out the file if you want to read, but if you see here, the what's the problem, it shows all the content of the screen. Okay, so this is one of the way, okay, to read the file. Second thing, what you could do if you want to create any file, okay, so let me say cat dash file, or let's give it a name. Why not cat dash file dot txt. Here it is asking for the more input, so here it's expecting we should provide some input to it. So we could say something like that. Okay, hello from me, this occupation, right, and hit enter. If you want to add more line, once you are done with the file, okay, after that you have to press control, okay, whether you are on Mac or Windows or Linux, any keyboard, control and D. Okay, then what happened, ls dash d. Okay, so we have this file over here, right? So we can do something like get, and we can see the content of the file. Next time, what I can do again, I want to do something like this. So hello again. All right, and control D. Okay, so now we are going to read this file again. Okay, cat file txt, and now if you see what just happened, content has overwritten. Okay, before I just put this message, and now it has this message, and I really don't want that. So in that case, what happened? For example, let me put it again. Oh, sorry, not cat. Okay, so cat.txt, and let's copy this to paste, and let me do it something like that. So now if I read this file, so I have this content, but in order to append, okay, if you want to append anything in your file, maybe we learn this more. If you suggest about the bash scripting, then in that case, what happened, we are appending. Okay, so I put like this, and I will say hi again, and control D, and this time when we read the file, we have both the lines. Okay, so in this way you can create file. Okay, so this is very helpful when you are working in a container or in an environment where you do not have any editor to create a file. So cat is one of the way by which you can concatenate as well as read the output, but on the terminal. Okay, so we have two files. So let's see the concatenation. What happened? I put the cat this file first, which has this content, and next file this one. Okay, so it has combined output of both and give me on the screen. Okay, so this is the concatenation operation, and we also learn how we can create files using the cat command. All right, so this much is enough on the cat. Let's go ahead and see what do we have next. So next we will see the less command. Okay, so less command, it's another utility which is very helpful. I use a lot. So less is used to view the content of a files on a screen at a time. Okay, so what does it mean on screen at a time? So we are coming on that, but let's first understand the syntax. So syntax is like this: less, option, and file, similar to cat. Make yourself familiar with the convention. Okay, options in Linux, something is written like this. So less is one of the command to see the file. Second is also more. So more is very old, or one of the old command, I would say, to read the file, okay, on the screen on at a time. And it also has the same syntax. Okay, so let's see both together how this works in action. More. So let's see output file. So you could see to in order to have to come to the or see the next line, I press enter. Okay, and if I press B, it will go up, and I press B, it goes down. And then after that, I got exited. And if you want to quit the file, you could press Q, and you will come out from the file. This is very handy in case like you are working on any of the configuration, and if you want to quickly check other file. So instead of putting on the text like this, right? So for example, if I open this file, what was this one, and for example, if this file contains password, okay, so if I scroll for any of the reason, okay, if I scroll up, and so I'm just giving you, maybe it's a very bad example, but just came up in my mind. So what happened, this is the content, these are on the screen, and until and unless you get rid of this screen, this content will keep on displaying over here. Okay, rather I could use this command. So quickly I check, okay, this is my password, let me copy and quit. After that, you only see what file I have checked. Okay, so just it's an example. So this is the thing, when you are you want to quickly refer any of the file, you could use that. So I told you one is the more command. Okay, another one is the less command. So less command, let's see this one, output. And in this, what happen when you enter, you go line by line, but when you press B, okay, so we do not have much over here. Let's copy one file, ssh and ssh config, and let's copy this over here. Less ssh. All right, so we have lots of content. Okay, and I think we will see how many lines we have, but it's very good. If I want to move or read the file, I can hit enter. If I want to go back, I have option B. If I want to search anything in it, so I have this option. Okay, and I press N, and I can find more and pattern not found further. So this facility or these features are not with the more. And if I show you the main page of this, so more display the content of a file in a terminal. Okay, and if I show you the main page for less, so it says opposite of more. Okay, so it's more powerful and more, it has more utility. So these are the option. If you want, you can read about it more. Okay, and additionally, after this, you can also open, when you press, I think V, there is an option, then you can open a file into that. I'm not going to do that because it won't open into the editor. We are coming on that shortly. And here it has other options if you want to read about, but yeah, I use less because it's my personal preference. I have explained both the commands, so go ahead and you can get more information over here. Okay, so far we have learned command cat. Oops, sorry. Again, it has opened the cat. We have learned less. We have learned more. We have learned. So basically, if you see, so there initially it's very confusing and it feels like there is no difference in less and more. But yes, it's more. Less is more powerful. Okay, and than the more, and that's why we do the less instead of more. All right. And you may be seeing me, I will be using less. I mean, you already observed that initially when I open a file, I use less rather instead of more. Okay, so we are not doing any comparison of good or bad. Both has its own plus and minus, or I mean, both are great at their own places. Okay, my preference is less, which is more, I would say, the advanced. Okay, so let's stick with the greatest and latest and advanced thing. All right. So it's more about on the this commands. Let me show you one more command, which is head. Okay. So head command, what it does, it gives you the first part of the files. Okay. So first, what does it mean? I'll show you shortly. Okay. And when I switch again back to terminal, so whenever you want to see any of the file which is very big, okay, and if you want to see some content of the file, okay, or upper part or first part or beginning part of the file, you use a head command. Syntax is the same. It has options and the file. And example is also like this: head, the subcube, and the file name. And by default, when you open a file, it gives you the first 10 entries or first 10 lines of the file. Okay. Next, I would like to show you another command, tell, which is just opposite to head. Head gives you the upper part, tell gives the lower part of the file, and both gives you by default 10 lines of the file. Okay, so always remember these are the default values, and maybe I don't know if you are more into scripting side or data processing side, so it might be a question. I use both the commands and how we use actually this both command in action. So let's go ahead and see that in action. And for that, what we are going to do, we already have files over here. All right. So first, let me do the tell, and for this, I would like to use this one. Okay. So when I put tell, okay, first, anyways, there is no difference for the order. So let's see with the first. Okay. When you execute this command, tell output.txt, okay, on your terminal, it gives us a last 10 lines. So our file has total 20 lines. Okay, line number 1 to 10. And when we use the command tell and output.txt, it gives us a last 10 lines. Okay, because tell, yeah, it's a purpose of tell, right? So output the last part of a file. This is the synopsis. It means it's the syntax of this. And here it is also mentioned, print the last 10 lines of each file to standard output. So standard output, it means it's, I mean, if this is a new term for you, and I'm assuming, yes, it is new because we are starting with the Linux, right? And it's a beginner one. So a standard output, it means whatever we are seeing over here on the screen. Okay, this is our standard input. Okay, so this is the main page. We have several options like F is followed. I'm coming on that. This is one of my important, and I will also tell you what is the utility of it. Okay, and we also have other options as well. So after that, you may explore it more later. Okay, so here when I say 10, okay, so what happened in that case when we don't want the last 10 lines? So in that case, we have option dash n, and I want to see only one line from this file. Let me clear the screen. And oh, sorry, what I have done. Tell dash n. We want to see output dot. Okay, here we got line number 20. Okay, so but it is not line number four. I mean line number one. Okay, because tell start to display line from the bottom. So when I say line number 2, then it gives us a line number 20 and the 19. Okay, and similarly if you put maybe 3 and so on and so forth. Okay, so you can also control how many lines you want using the tell command. Next option, we have like dash f option. Okay, so this is very helpful. For example, this one, so you could see um, here the cursor is a stop, okay, and it is blinking. So this is very helpful. So when I set up the web server first time, okay, and I have to set up, let's say, the proxies, the certificates, and see whether I'm getting proper output or not. If any error is there, so you could just say, okay, follow this trail of this file. Always new logs will come at the end. Okay, and you can quickly see, okay, this is the problem, and you can quickly grab the logs and put in your favorite AI, or if you know the solution directly, go ahead and look into this. Okay, so this command is very helpful. This is also same if you work with the container or Kubernetes. There also you have to follow the container or pod logs. Okay, so dash f option is very helpful. This is one utility. Let me tell you more use cases for where you could use. But before that, I would like to show you the command head which we just used, right? So head and same options. Okay, so we didn't provide any option. We provide only option. I mean the command, right, and the name of the file. Okay, try this from your side if you're following along. So this time what happened, line 1 to 10, and on the other hand, tell has given last 10 lines by default, and it has given us last, I mean not last, first 4 lines by default, right? So what you have to do, if you are interested, okay, we will use this in when we go for user management in our day 4. Okay, we will use this more. Okay, so don't think we are end over here. So for head give you the first 10 line, tell give you the last 10 lines. And similar to head, you also, I mean, similar to tell, you also have option head dash n and output. So I want to see only one line, I can use something like that. If I want to see 2 lines, I could put, sorry, something like this. And similarly, 3 and so on and so forth, right? But you might be wondering, okay, I really not interested in this. So let me say tell. Okay, but I, for example, you might say, okay, I'm interested in particular line. Okay, so how would I get that? So guys, these two commands which I have just explained, these are very, 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 very helpful when you are doing scripting. There are other things as well, okay, by which you could get this information, but we are learning how we can use in real life in head and tell commands. Okay, so these are not only the example, these are some of the examples which I'm telling you. Okay, and based on that, you could also develop your own logic and apply this command. Okay, let's do something like this, tell and output.txt. And so first let me show you what it does. It gives like this. Okay, and what I want to do, I want to see a line number first, or first line of this, out of this. So I will do head dash n and 1. So I got line number 11. Okay, and you can also restrict if you want to see line number 11. So you could only say dash n and so, oops, sorry, not like this. I'm sorry about that. It won't work in this way because tell line number 1, it means it start with bottom. So we get only this one. So we also come on that if you are wish for particular line, okay, how you can get it. So in this case, this one, and again the same thing happening, right? When I put 2, then it is giving me the output like this. So there are some other utilities which I use in shell scripting. So SID dash and SID is also utility. And let's see something if we have. So stream editor for filtering and transforming text. Okay. Yes, we do this, but sometimes head and tells are also very, very helpful. So it's up to you, whatever you want to do. I'm just giving you a shortcut over here. So I wanted to see the line number 20 only. So what I could do something like this, sid dash n, then line number 20 dash p and the file name output. So I got line number 20. Okay, when I put something, I'm interested in line number 11. So line number 11 is there. Okay, line number 1 is there, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you could use it. This command, there is one more command, one more utility I would like to show you. It's a awk. Okay, so it's a gawk, awk. Okay, pattern scanning. So basically, this I use for the in scripting when I have to grab particular thing. Okay, as a pattern. But we can also use this over here. Okay, and how we can use it? So there is option and R, and I could say line number 1. I want to get out of it, and output.txt line number 1 is there. Option. And if I want to see line number 20, 20 is there. If I want to see line number 21, so of course we have up to 20 lines. So we got the output. I mean, we got nothing. It means there is no error in Linux. It means the your command got executed successfully, and which is very helpful. Okay. Okay. I'm going more into the scripting side, but always remember, if you execute, for example, I hit enter, okay, and it is going down, I mean next line, it means whatever operations I perform on the shell, okay, that happened successfully. Linux only tells you when you have any error, okay, for example q, so it's a command and all these things, right? So it's very amazing. Let me give you this as well so you can try and keep in your notes if you want to. All right, so we have learned this one. One more thing I would like to mention over here. Of course, there are so many things, but just we are starting. I don't want to overwhelm you, but at the same time, I would also like to uh, think the concept what happened when you, I mean, how you use actually. Okay, it is not just about this command is this command is this command has this option. Okay, for that I already explained. We have a man pages, right? We have help like this, okay, we can read. So but where we use it, right? So that's a thing. And live you can also practice from your side. All right, so one more thing I wanted to show you. For example, I mean, I use it in when I written some of the scripts where, especially in Kubernetes. Yeah, so when you need output of from the file, from particular output, okay, so how you could do this, for example, I wanted to see only line number 15 to 70. Okay, how we can see the particular line? So I have told you, right, seed and awk is a option. But if I want to see some of the lines from the output, okay, so how you I could use add the, let's say 15 to 17. So give it a, let's 17, and from output.txt, and I would use tell and tell dash n. So I got line number from 15 to 17. Okay, similarly, if I want to see let's say 5 to 10, so what I will do, I will put 10 over here, and uh, 5 to 10, 10. Okay, I'll show you the logic as well. Okay, so I have line number from 5 to 10. Okay, so what's the logic over here? Head. Okay, first we use head. Okay, in head I have put the line number, the last line number. In that case, I wanted to see line number 15 to 17, so last line number was 70, for example. Okay, I also just put a 17 number, so you know, okay, this is the line number 70. All right, similarly, how I get to know this value? So it's very simple thing. This line number, I mean the last line minus the start line. I wanted to see line from 15 to 17. So I simply did the math. 17 minus 15, it's 2 plus 1. So I got 3 over here and I put it. Similarly, here I also did the same. 10 minus 5 is 5 plus 1 is 6. And I got the this many lines. Okay, line number 5 to line number 10. Just to play around it, okay, explore it, and go to your favorite AI. Just chat. They talk. Okay, I need some more use cases on this, and you will get one. Okay, so I think this much information is enough on all these commands. Okay, I can keep on talking on this, but these are foundation. Okay, if you are going next to learn shell scripting or bash scripting, these commands which I'm showing you are best for those as well. Okay, I also told you how you can use if you are working as a data engineer or maybe analyzing a log file or code review or something. So cat command is also very helpful, right? So this many things on this. Let's see, what do we have? Okay, so here is the summary whatever we have learned so far. So cat, okay, concatenate and display, it is also a useful option I mentioned over here. Less, more, both same, but my preference is less, okay, which has more functionality, more facility. Just write on your favorite AI the difference between less and more, but first do the practice. Okay, after that you get a lot of more things as well. Then head, just top, okay, display the first part of the file. Tell displays the last part of the file, and we also see where we can use different scenarios about this. Okay, so if anybody has any questions, please drop them. So it's my time to ask a question. I expect you guys to please participate. Okay, so first question, what does the cat command do? Changes the current directory, list files and directory, and concatenates and display the contents of files, display the last few lines of file. All right. So let's see. Yes, concatenate and display the contents of the file. Very nice. Next, we have option which command allows you to view the content of a file on screen at a time with the ability to navigate using arrow keys. Option A, cat. Option B, less. Option C, head. Option D, tell. All right, so let's go ahead and see this one. Yeah, less is the command. Okay, less and more perform the same, but less has the ability to give you navigate through the arrow keys. Okay, so great. Next question. So here, which command is best for monitoring a log file in real time? Cat, less, head, and tell. All right. Let's see. So the right option is D. Okay, which I explain you. The tell is when you follow, if you want to follow any of the log file, and if you want to see what is happening in real time, so that is the option. Very handy for you. Okay, that's the end of the Q&A. Next part is we are going to start files editing. And in this, we are going to learn the one and only Vim editor. If you found it helpful and easy to follow, please support the channel. The easiest way is to drop a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Keep practicing, stay curious, and I'll catch you in the next one.